Welcome to the Meat and Potatoes podcast. We're here with John Sanders, who's the co-founder of Quadra Ecommerce. How are you?
Man, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I assume this podcast will be aired when it's still hot, but it is quite hot.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, thank you for joining us
Mhm.
all the way from beautiful Logan.
Yeah. You guys get a lot of Cache Valley people down here?
More and more.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. It's about, 10 degrees less there?
Yeah, something like that. I always joke with people. They say, I can never live in, people from Salt Lake, I can never live in Cache Valley. It's too cold. As if we come down here to vacation,
Yeah.
to get away from the heat. But yeah, or from the cold, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear the cool story of Quadra.
Yeah. So you want me to just start from the beginning?
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. So I actually graduated from the U in, when was it, 2002. And while I was there, I just got hooked into online marketing. I don't know if you've heard of Frank Kern. He's a famous online marketing. Anyway, I bought a little course from him, and it just, his course just captivated me. I'm like, it was so cool that you could sell stuff from around the world to different people. And so that kind of just got into my blood. I was just so excited about it, but just like any other, I guess, person that isn't ready to take the leap, I just graduated, started working. And, but I always kind of dabbled with online marketing, just was a passion of mine. And then in 2009, I was actually living in Dallas, working for a company out here in the home building space. It's home building software. And so, unfortunately, we all know what happened in 2009.
Yeah.
And I got laid off. It was an awesome company, but at that time, I was like, well, I've always wanted to do this online thing. Why don't I go out there and try to do it for myself? And so what I did was I approached home builders because I was like, well, I already have contacts with them through the software world. And I was like, well, I'll just help them with their online marketing. So they're struggling to move inventory right now. And so maybe I could help with that. So me and a couple partners, we went and did it. My brother's part of it as well. And long story short, it was, I don't think I was ready for how hard it was going to be. And I was married at the time, had 3 kids. And this is where the story gets a little dire for me. So I was determined to make it work, and so it was getting really rough, but I decided to go out and deliver pizzas to make ends meet. And this is where it's hard for me because it's just such an emotional thing. Not that delivering pizzas, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just here I was, 3 kids, married. I have friends that are super successful, have great careers, and I'm out there delivering pizzas, and I just felt so much shame, so much like a failure. I'm like, man, I can't even provide for my family. I was on the brink of losing my house, my cars. And so it was just a really, really rough time. And I'll get back to why that's important to me. But it really was tough. And I eventually, because my wife got pregnant with our 4th child, went back to corporate America. And I would say I was pretty devastated. I don't know. I think most entrepreneurs are taught that you don't quit. You don't, that, I just felt like that was it for me. And so I moved on. I was still in Dallas, working for corporate America. And anyway, I just never lost that fire to do online marketing. It's just, when something's just in your blood, you're just passionate about it. It just won't go away. And that's what it was for me. And in 2014, while I was still working my full-time job, I came across an opportunity with print on demand. We had discussed that a little bit. Print on demand, just so you guys know real quick, is where you can sell product on shirts and mugs without having any inventory. And this was in the early days of Facebook marketing and ads. And so there was a guy that was showing people how to do this. And I wanted to learn because I saw the people being successful. And so anyway, I begged my wife to buy this course on how to do it. And she said, and I said, look, it was a lot of money at the time for me, but I was like, give me 30 days. I show you that this will work. And if not, I'll never bug you with anything again. Cause I was always buying stuff. I was always trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
So she said, okay. And so I ended up started selling shirts on a site called Teespring. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it is a big print on demand platform, and I didn't need a website or anything. I could just put the designs on there. I hired someone off Fiverr to make the designs. And 2 weeks in, I started making sales, and I was using Facebook ads to drive traffic to the website. And so it gave me that confidence that I could do it. And so a year later, I had an opportunity to move back here to Logan with another company. I want to move back to Utah. Don't ask me why Logan. That's a whole other story. But we moved back here to Logan, and in 2015, there was an opportunity I was making enough money selling shirts on the side where I was able to do it full time. Cool. And I've been selling full time ever since. So that's how I got into print on demand. As far as Quadra, the story of Quadra started when I was selling products, but then I would go on Etsy and see these really cool products that I wanted to sell on my website, but there was no way for me to send the order information. It was all manual. Yeah. And I was like, it'd be really cool because people on Etsy, they're there to manufacture and sell product. Wouldn't it be cool if sellers had access to their products, sellers like me, and I could sell it on my website? And that's where Quadra was born, the idea. And I met my co-founder, Scott Carpenter, and he's a developer, and I told him the idea. He thought it was great. And so we founded Quadra. And so, and then what we did is initially we didn't raise any money. We said, well, let's do some client work and build this out while we're helping our clients. And so we started doing client work. We ran across a store called Urban Forest Wood, where this is where our other business partner comes in, Brian Ruckert. We started working on his store. We took his Shopify store from 0 to high 6 figures in sales doing print on demand. He owned a laser shop, and so we were doing his products. And then we told him what we were building out, and so he wanted to be part of it. He bought into it. And yeah, and then in 2020, we wanted to scale his business, and that's where we met Qualtry, and that's where the development really for connecting a store with a manufacturer came in. So we connected with Qualtry and started building the app. And I showed you before, but this was our best-selling product during the pandemic. It was the ornament right here. We sold hundreds of thousands of these, and this literally funded the Quadra app. And so, yeah, we launched the Quadra app in 2021 and had a very successful soft launch. And that's
very cool.
what we're about.
Great story. And for those listening, the thing that they sold was a piece of wood that looks like a roll of toilet paper. And it says,
I think it looks like a whistle myself.
Yeah. I love you more than toilet paper 2020, and it's a Christmas tree ornament.
Yeah, exactly.
And you sold a lot.
Hundreds of thousands of them. Yeah, we were just over at Qualtry, and I was showing her that the ornament. She had a little bit of PTSD because we had sold so many of them. But yeah, we sold a lot of those ornaments, and our mission is to help people monetize their creativity, and it just goes back. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but
no, that's fine.
It just goes back to my roots. Like everything I do with Quadra is with the pizza guy in mind. I take this wherever I go as a reminder of where I've been.
Your Pizza Hut name badge.
Because had I had this opportunity with Quadra Print on Demand, I think it would have really helped me. I would have had a business where I could have provided for my family. And this was during the recession. And so I wake up every morning thinking of this guy and saying, I have to reach this guy. I want to give him the opportunity. And so whenever I take it in my car, whenever I go somewhere, I know this isn't a big deal to you guys, but I'm just a half Brazilian guy that English is my second language. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing a company like this. And so I always want to remember where I come from and who I'm doing this for. And it's this guy right here. And, we're going into a recession now. I don't know if you saw inflation's at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And people are going to be looking for an opportunity. They're just like I was in 2009. People are going to be looking for opportunity. And so Quadra, what we're trying to do is get out there so we can reach those people. We can give them a chance. And I really believe that. We have lofty goals for what we want to do, not just here in the U.S., but obviously worldwide, because our app can do that. Yeah, connect with manufacturers worldwide. So anyway, yeah.
Okay, Very cool. Great idea. And so the old-fashioned way would be if you're creative, you'd have to find a manufacturer and usually like have inventory.
Yeah.
Who knows? A lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody's creative and has good designs, you can go the easier route with mugs or T-shirts, but it's more unique products for you guys, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of our secret sauce. Actually, is I think there's a lot of players in this game that focus on the shirts and mugs. But what we found with our own business, that's the other cool thing, is like a lot of other companies in our space, they're just manufacturers, they're printers. Where we come from the seller space, that's our DNA. And so as sellers, we're always looking for unique products. We want, it's hard to compete with like an Amazon or, Old Navy where they're just selling shirts. But if you have unique products like ornaments or like a humidor like we were talking about, now you can get into those niches where people can actually make money. And so that's what we teach our students as well, is we want them to find those blue oceans, and unique products is just a great way to do that, for them to stand out and have a chance in the marketplace. So, yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, let's talk about these humidors, because that'll probably illustrate the business model, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Unique product, but there's enough in the world, enough cigar smokers that they do need humidors. So it could just be a box with no logo, no design, no branding, nothing unique about it. But a creative person could apply funded creative design and couple that with the humidor manufacturer and sell that, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so let me kind of get into the weeds with this a little bit, if you're okay. But what we teach is is what we call cross niching. And so I'm looking for the little guy that wants to make money. If you go out there and try to compete with people that sell humidors, you're probably going to have a hard time. But let's say you're you're passionate about fishing and cigars.
Yeah.
You can target people on Facebook that are into fishing and cigars and create a really funny design around that, put it on the product, serve it up to them on Facebook. And so that's what we teach our students, is learn how to cross niche. Try to serve people that are underserved. Like, that's a pretty tight niche, but actually there's millions of people that love to fish and also love cigars.
Yeah.
And so there's not a lot of people out there serving that niche specifically. And so when they see it on their feed or they see it on TikTok or whatever, chances are they're going to respond. And so that's what we see on our own store. Most, I say, e-commerce stores get a 1 to 2% conversion rate on this isn't Quadra. We use Quadra on our store as well. But on our online store, we get a 8% conversion rate. Why? Because we're targeting people that are passionate about things. It's not just a humidor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's not just a T-shirt, right? And so that's the difference.
Yeah.
Again, it kind of goes back to our mission. We're not just interested in like the product. Like, this is important, but my intention is really to help people monetize their creativity. This is a really lofty goal, but I've never said this before, but it's on my checklist or vision board or whatever, is I really want to help 1 million people earn a living with their creativity. And with Web3 coming out and where people are taking more and more ownership of the web, that's the mission I'm on. And so part of that mission is teaching people how to do it. And so that's where we have podcasts, we have masterminds. We're teaching people how to do this. Because it's not about selling product. It's about living life on your own terms. It's about, creating a business. It's about the pizza guy that wants to provide for his family. And so it goes much bigger than product. And so I think that's why we have been successful, and why we're going to be successful, is we come from the seller mentality. We have a mission. We're not just out there printing product.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I like it. So using the humidor fisherman example again, it's probably not a big enough business for you to buy the Chicago Cubs at some point, but it could be like life-changing in mailbox money. You could keep your same job if you enjoy that.
Exactly.
And it's just a cherry on the top, or it'd be enough to live a normal, great life.
Yeah, that's what we talk about all the time. It's not about making the $1 million. Like, this is literally $1 million product. I know some of the listeners can't hear it, but this ornament's $1 million product.
Yeah.
Do you have to do $1 million product? No. I think I saw a study that said that it would be life-changing for an average American if they could make an extra $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And that is like so doable with print on demand.
Yeah.
And so it's not about the millions you can make. You can do that. I mean, I'm sitting here as proof of that. But it's like you said, I like that you said that. It's about the side hustle. You can make a little bit extra money. But for me, the exciting thing, honestly, is being able to make money off your creativity.
Yeah.
Like that for me, that's where the world's going. You know, that, you know, with autonomous driving machines, there's going to be tasks done by robots and everything. I think that I'm getting a little philosophical here, but I think we're meant to evolve to where we're making money, we're making our livelihood off creativity.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my big vision, and that's kind of where I see things going, and where I see a potential for Quadra to be a big player in that.
Yeah.
Is helping people do that. So regardless if they want the full time or just the side hustle. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I think generally if you're less stressed and have a little bit more free time, you're more creative.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even if
That's
you're just
very true.
a little creative and you have a successful interaction with Quadra, it might entice more creative juices to flow, and you never know, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I started selling T-shirts on Teespring, and I've slowly evolved to now where I own a platform.
Yeah.
I want the same thing for other people. I want them to be able to live life on their own terms. For me, it's meant building a platform.
Yeah.
You know, and so and then just to your point about the humidor, no, you're not going to be Amazon.
Yeah.
But the reality is if something sells on a humidor, we have other products that you can put it on. So we actually put this on other products and sold it the same saying on other products.
Yeah.
And so it's not just about pigeonholing yourself to one product. And that's something we teach, is like continually launching product. And because the barrier of entry is pretty low with print on demand, it's a double-edged sword. But the cool thing is that you can get a system down, you can launch product, and if you're diligent, you can make this a full-time business. So
be your own boss.
Be your own boss. Yeah.
And I believe that with this platform, this model, you're not constrained by borders, right?
No, not at all. And in fact, I think I don't know if I mentioned it, it's kind of a blur, but I'm actually half Brazilian. I grew up in Brazil. I moved to this country without, I had to relearn English. So one of my passions is to go down to Brazil and start a business. It's very bureaucratic to start a business in Brazil. There's lots of red tape, but with print on demand, we can do it. Like we can literally tie to a manufacturer. And we are in talks with a T-shirt manufacturer down there, which will allow us here in the U.S. to sell down there. But more importantly to me is, I don't know how much you know about Latin America, but every time I go down there, I see the hustle. I see how they're hustling on the beach. They're entrepreneurs. It's in their vein. And I'm just thinking, what if they had the tools we have here? If I can get them those tools, man, the sky's the limit. Because an artist there in Brazil will not only be able to sell there in Brazil through the network of manufacturers we have, he can easily sell here in the U.S. too. Yeah. And it doesn't take a whole lot of investment. It doesn't take a lot of that red tape that it would for, say, me, someone that's passionate about doing it in Brazil. I could start selling in Brazil without having to set anything up, like legally, Yeah. No, don't quote me on that. There might be some red tape there, but you know what I'm saying? You just kind of knock down that barrier of entry. So it's not just Brazil, but it's all over the world. I mean, we can connect to any manufacturer anywhere in the world. So the sky's the limit. And that's what's really exciting for me, is the international possibility of how this thing's going to go. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool. And Quadra as the platform, you guys, what's your business model?
So our business model right now is we do have a freemium where you can get on, install the app on Shopify, and you can sell products on there. However, if you want volume pricing, we offer a monthly pricing for that. It's $37 a month, and you get preferred pricing. So this is kind of the really cool thing about it, is like we've been doing this so long as sellers, we have relationships with the Qualtry or with these manufacturers. They're willing to give us the volume discount because we do a lot of volume. And that's the other thing too. I'm so glad you asked me this. I get so excited, is when you're starting out, you don't get that volume pricing. If you went to Qualtry right now, they wouldn't do business with you. Well, what kind of volume do you do? Yeah. But with us, we're creating a movement where you as a beginner can jump in, pay a monthly fee, and now you get our volume pricing and you can make more money. And so you get volume pricing with the monthly plan. It's called Quadra Pro. Then we have Quadra Pro Annual. If you pay $300 a year, not only do you get the volume pricing, but we also have done for you designs that we'll give to you. And also every month you get a training with me and my business partner where we talk about how to run this business. So for instance, in July, we're gonna do a training on how to set up support. So during Q4, you're not running all your support. You have a team that helps you.
Yeah.
So so that's another huge advantage is the traditional print on demand. What they do, it's free, but then they mark up the product so high that you can't really, your margins are so slim. And now after you pay ads and fees, you're not left with much. Where with Quadra Pro, we're saying, hey, join our membership. We negotiate the best prices for you, and you get the same pricing as we do. So
very cool.
Yeah,
that's a big advantage. So you guys have obviously are in the process of building Quadra to scale, of course.
Yep.
But at the same time, you're building it so that your customers can scale.
Yeah,
they'd like.
I mean, that's, again, I just go back to it. We're sellers.
Yeah.
I'm this guy right here. I can't make money on I can't say I can't. It's very hard to make money on the traditional POD because the margins are so thin. Because that's how they make money. They mark it up. I mean, you use it for free, but then you mark it up. Yeah. And we just kind of flipping it on its head and say, no, we want to empower you to do it. Yeah. And so you pay us a monthly fee. We give you better pricing. You make more money, and off you go. So it's a win-win.
It is.
So,
and entrepreneurship's rife with peril. But this, we'll call this like mini entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
If you do fail, you're not going to lose your farm or your car. You're going to learn a lot, and you're not going to be out a lot of money.
With print on demand. And I mean, it gets even simpler because you literally, through Shopify, you can launch a product and then list it on Etsy, and just wait for the orders to come in. Honestly, I laugh because it's very simple. Like it's a business, so there's work.
Yeah.
But I tell we have some staff here, and they're in school, and I say, man, you guys should be doing this. It's a little side hustle. Last year we set up a brand new Etsy store, and I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. We just listed our products on there, and in a few weeks we made like $5-10 grand.
Yeah.
So that can change someone's life. That can change someone's life.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, and without a lot of risk, a lot of work. I mean, there is a lot of work, but if you do it at night for a couple hours a day, you're good to go.
Very cool. Well, you guys are sellers, and I think I've been sold. So I love it. It's a great idea, and I love the minimal amount of friction. Never would have guessed that you're half Brazilian. So congrats on zero accent. I got teased a lot when I was in school, but. Very cool. Well, congrats to you and your team, John.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. Really cool business, and thanks for taking the time to join us.
Well, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
You bet.